Obama is being compared to President Nixon on this. How does he feel about that?
Again, I don't have a reaction from President Obama. I can tell you that the people who make those kind of comparisons need to check their history.
All right, well, we did. Let's just say it is weird. The timing of all this White House scandal stuff is weird. 40 years, almost to the day, the Congress took up its Watergate hearings that would later captivate a nation and a world, despite throughout the guy they were investigating trying to act business as usual and everything was hunky-dory in this world. This president as well, continuing with these fundraisers, 2 of them in New York last night, and the same attack line on his favorite fodder, Republicans, and more to the point, Rush Limbaugh, for blocking his agenda, to historian Jane Hampton Cook, who sees a pattern. Jane, what do you make of this?
Well, you know, it's very common when there's a scandal, when there's controversy, for a president to come out and say, hey, it's time for me to go back to work. Nixon called the incidents with Watergate initially as bizarre. He said no one in his administration or his White House had anything to do with it. They were bizarre. President Clinton, with the beginning of the Lewinsky scandal, said the accusations were false and that he needed to go back to work for the American people. So you're seeing a very similar response. It's common at the early stages of an investigation in several scandals like this. Now,
as you've reminded me and written very well, it's not so much the act or the alleged crime, it's the cover-up afterwards. So hence the fixation on the part of some of the media about Benghazi, more to the point about these talking points that were revised no less than a dozen times, even though Fox had said it, it gained currency on cachet, I guess, when ABC News said it. But in the case of these IRS investigations, whether anyone at the administration might have been involved and whether there was an effort to cover that up, it was way too early to say. But that is what gets the attention, and that is what hearings invariably try to bring out. On that count, and given just the sheer volume of things percolating right now, should the administration be worried?
Well, they should be concerned because, unlike Watergate, the faces of Watergate, who were they? Well, it turned out to be the administration, the different president's men that fell kind of one by one. Who are the victims today? You've had 2 of them on your program already. There are faces associated with the IRS scandal, people who've been victimized. You had the whistleblowers last week. You've had those who died in Benghazi and their family members coming out. So the faces are people, the American people, that are coming forward and saying, hey, this is what happened to me, or this is my concern. And I think that is a reason why the Obama administration should be concerned about the unfolding investigation, because more and more faces will come forward.
But what if there are too many investigations to concentrate on? In other words, Benghazi is one thing, this IRS thing is another thing, the Justice Department going after AP reporters, the Health and Human Services hitting up companies for money to essentially promote the health care law. So many incidents, so many distractions. The fact that there are so many, does that actually in a perverse way help the administration, that you can't focus on just one thing?
Well, it is hard to focus on one thing. The government's mighty big, so you know they'll continue to do their, the government employees will continue to do their work. But look at Jay Carney. Look at what he's fielding now 2 times in a row, peppered with questions. We don't know enough and that much about the AP scandal, and if it is even a scandal. But now you've got the press fearing for their rights as members of the press. So there's a lot of threads here.
Yeah. Jane Hampton Cook, historian extraordinaire, book on the Adamses is out right now. Thank you very, very much, Jane.